Eric in Oklahoma, you are on the line.
Hey guys, how's it going?
Peachy, how are you?
How you doing?
Good. Hey, I'm a new listener. I just discovered you guys through my sister, and it got me curious. What would you guys say is your goal for the show?
Oh, well, my goals for the last 17 and a half years that I've been doing this have been pretty straightforward. I want to help educate people to find their way out of superstition, religious belief, pseudoscience, the way that I've been working to get myself free of all of that. I would like to know as many true things and as few false things as possible, which means if I'm wrong and there is a God or there is something supernatural, I would like somebody to actually present evidence of it. And then the third aspect is to essentially end religious privilege, because religions hold an unwarranted privileged position in society.
Yeah, my answer is similar but different enough. I rarely plug this because I'm not needing any attaboys when I'm on these shows, but I'm actually the executive producer of the entire channel. I created the line, and my thought process from the onset was I just want to rip off what other people are doing. No, that's a joke. I consider the line what I hope is at least a deconstruction content factory. I know that when you are leaving religion, there are specific conversations that are tough to have. There are certain new ways of trying to think about things. Even that first call we had with the person who's like, man, I'm really compelled by the confidence of the faith these other people have. I remember what it was like. And so I like that we have a very honest method of engaging with people that isn't just screaming on Facebook, you know, in the comments, throwing Google links, having one-on-ones in real time with anybody can call. It's why I never bring up any pre-qualification I might have to have a conversation. I never try to, there's very few things of which I could be considered an authority over, but I'm never going to bring those in because I want a person like yourself to be able to call in and say, hey, I'm handling this. Now, that said, I'm also waiting for the call where somebody can change my mind. I just don't think it's going to happen because we have a very specific standard as skeptics of the way you change my mind is with evidence, and I do it all the time. My views and my overall interests and mostly, just views and beliefs have changed a ton over the last 15 years. And starting about 15 years ago, it was because I started to embrace evidence and good reasons to believe things. It took me a while to refine how to identify those things, but that journey started about 15 years ago. And so I want to be able to participate in the healthy deconstruction of people and hopefully not the very polarizing way many people deconstruct. Why do you want to know, Eric? I'm curious.
Both of those are pretty good reasons.
Yeah.
So my sibling and I both grew up in a kind of pretty religious household. We both grew up in a Pentecostal household, which, if you know anything about Pentecostals, they're the crazy Christians. This is the easiest way for me to describe that.
I was a Mormon. At a very Come young at me, age, bro.
Okay. Yeah, I guess that is a bit worse.
Thanks.
But at a young age, I rebelled against it very strongly and was anti-theist. I absolutely hated religion. I went out of my way to disprove people's religions. I did everything I could to make a religious person, think they were stupid. And she was kind of the opposite. She kind of got into the church a little bit. She didn't go to my parents' church, but she found her own youth group that she liked and she did well with. And over these last couple of years, we both have switched. She has gone more so the anti-theist route, where I'm kind of leaning, I wouldn't say I'm religious, but I'm somewhere between agnostic and spiritual. I want to think there's something there.
That's
because death is scary. You know, I want to believe I'll be able to see the loved ones I've lost when I die, but I don't have any proof of it. So I'd say I'm an agnostic theist, if that makes any sense. I believe there's something there, but I don't have any proof, so I'm not going to change your guys' mind on that because I'm not sure myself.
So the big thing is that you're describing something where it seems like you're saying, I don't know what I believe, but I'm kind of have hopeful thinking or wishful thinking. And for me,
that's 100% what I'm saying.
Yeah, I don't understand that. I mean, I understand it, but I don't understand it. Do you not care whether or not your beliefs are true?
Does it matter at the end of the day?
That's the question. To me,
But,
I absolutely want to believe as many true things and as few false things as possible, because I think it absolutely does matter. If you run around believing things that aren't true and you don't care that, then you're training your brain to accept nonsense as if it were real. And that has consequences, because you might believe one thing and that one belief doesn't seem to impact you very much at all. But you've trained your brain so that now it will accept other things that will impact you even more. If you think that there is a God, won't that change the way you live your life? Doesn't that change the way you spend your time? Doesn't that change the way you spend your money? Doesn't that change the way you vote?
would it be a bad thing if it changed the way I live my life? Because a lot of religions try to push you towards the good things get you into heaven, you know, whether it's Christian, Jewish, Muslim.
No, they don't.
Well, not doing bad things get you into heaven
they don't.
for the most part.
No, they don't. The religion, name a religion that does not encourage people to do things that are wrong. But it doesn't really matter.
I can't say 100% that people can't misinterpret the information and
it's
use
not a matter
that for
of
harm, because that's happened throughout history.
It's not a matter of misinterpreting. None of this matters because you're not following any religion. You're just making it up yourself. I was pointing out that you're simply wrong. But yes, it does matter if religions convince you or your beliefs convince you to do things that are not based in reality and are harmful. That's a problem. I'm not aware of any religion that will only convince you to do good things.
So it comes down to so you're saying you don't think there's any place in society for religion.
Wow.
Like you don't think religion has taken anybody.
Eric, are you going to answer my question, or are you going to put up fucking straw men of shit I didn't say?
Okay, I'm not trying to say that. I'm trying to ask you that question, I suppose.
I'm trying to get an answer to my question, and that's going to happen first. I'm trying to get an answer to my question, and that was going to happen first. Okay.
The question being, do I think it's okay, or are you looking for the religion where they don't encourage anything wrong?
You asked me if I thought it was a problem if a religion caused you to change your life. And I said it would be a problem if it was causing you to change your life in a way that wasn't good. And you seem to suggest that religions only want to point you towards something good, which isn't true.
No, I didn't say that. I don't think they only point you towards good things, and I don't think all religions only point you towards good things.
Okay.
I do think that religions
Hang on, I have to mute somebody down a good path. Like, look at prisoners that reform. Fuck off. But go ahead.
I'm just saying, look at religions, or look at prisoners that reform through prison, and they get deep into religion, and they use that as like a guideline of their morals to be a decent member of society. Now, prison doesn't always work out right, and even those people that use religion to kind of as a guide to get to be a decent person and find their way out of the system.
Yeah, by the way, the statistics on prison is if you go into prison,
it can be a good guideline.
Hey, the statistics on prison do not support what you're trying to suggest here. You go into prison, you're more likely to become a repeat offender, not less. Yep. Yes, people find Jesus in prison. You're scraping
to convince parole boards.
Yeah, and
they do it to convince parole boards. This claim that people go into prison and find some religion and turn out to be better. Yeah, some people might. And it doesn't seem to matter whether they find Jesus or Allah or whatever else. I just did a debate with a Muslim on Friday night where he was pointing out how many lives have been changed because of people converting to Islam in prison. And I hear from Christians all the time about people's lives being changed because they converted to Christianity. Here's the thing. Would people's lives be changed for the better if they converted to a religion that was false, or if they converted to an ideology that was rooted in reality and true?
Exactly.
Not everyone's, but some people can use that as a guideline. I'm not saying it's a large portion of the statistics. I mean,
this is ridiculous. I keep asking questions, and you keep ignoring them to say whatever the hell you want to say.
Yeah, I answered your question. I said not all of them.
No, you didn't. My question could not be answered by the words "not all of them." I give up, Eric.
Repeat your
You
question.
believe whatever the fuck you want because you don't care if it's true. And you don't think there's a problem with believing things that aren't true. So you keep right on doing that.
Eric, I guess my question
It's
to you
called
is
gullibility, and it impacts you because regardless of what you think, your brain is designed to make decisions. And you are training your brain to be shitty at making decisions. And you think that that's not going to be a bad thing.
As long as you're not harming anyone else or yourself with your beliefs.
Oh, well, I'm done with your
Does it
excuses,
matter that you're
Eric.
wrong?
I'm done with your excuses. I just called you out for training your brain to make shitty decisions, and you're going to go, as long as you're not harming anybody. Religions do harm people, both the adherents and the people who are out there who are having their fucking rights violated by religious people voting their own personal agenda onto other people. And if you just want to sit around and make excuses for it, this is not the platform for that.
I'm not trying to make excuses for it.
yeah,
I'm just saying that there are people within, like I'm not using the entirety. Like with the prison example, I'm not using every single prisoner, and that's why I even
but
pointed out.
Eric,
that prison
the way you're
statistics don't
broadcasting
usually-
it, the way you're broadcasting it would suggest that there are like significant examples to point to of the opposite. And I still wouldn't agree. But can you show me the non-harmful version of Christianity? Because I doubt you
I asked that
can.
question 10 minutes ago.
Yeah, I doubt we could agree that it even is possible to have a non-harmful version of Christianity. I collab with much less harmful versions of Christian creators on my other channel from time to time, and I love them as people. Brenda from God is Gray, I would marry Brenda from God is Gray because I love her so much as a human being. And yet, I still think her version of Christianity is harmful. That so what is the version of Christianity that these people in prison are getting that there is no secular alternative to within reality? Because I know I'm asking questions and should stop to let you listen. I'm actually trying to be a bit more rhetorical and make a point because it sounds like you have very little faith in humanity. And we've talked about, and I don't mean that in faith in the religious way. I'm sorry for the poor choice of terms. But we talked about this last week or the week
I do have
before.
very little faith in humanity.
I do too, in a lot of ways. However, I don't.
Too much faith in other shit.
That's true. Also, we talked to somebody in the past who it was either last week or the week before. I don't believe that there should be a commission of people out there deciding who is worth telling the truth to and who is worth lying to, because it'll be easier for these ignorant, low intelligence or emotional or whatever to control them and make them be good people within society if we tell them lies about their religion. And so when you're talking about people who are reforming in prison, if their God doesn't exist, and I say it doesn't, but we can have that argument a different time, then it wasn't actually that religion or that God that changed them. If Jesus isn't actually the Lord of all or whatever you want to call him, then anybody who changed in the name of Jesus, they actually changed themselves. It happened in their brain without this external thing. And I am not so cynical as to say the only way that we can make that change happen in a person is if we lie to them and tell them it came from a magical place. If we essentially treat adults like they should believe in Santa Claus. I think that's not just wrong, that's offensive as fuck. It's bigoted as fuck. To assume that you are a part of some elite class, or maybe you don't assume this about yourself. Maybe you just think other people are more elite and other people should live only with truth, but everybody else who needs it because of their lowly position in society should live with fantasies and then control their lives out of that fantasy. That's insane to me. I'm done.
But I guess the point I was just trying to make with that example was that some people can use religion as a positive guideline. Now, I can
Nobody
definitely
gives a
point
fuck.
out a lot of the negatives.
Whether or not it was. Oh God, go ahead. Sorry, I'll stop.
I feel like you didn't listen to me either because I also addressed that.
Oh, if you're done with me, then hang up.
All right, bitch. Bye.
That was the wrong thing to say, my friend. Hello, I'm Jimmy Snow, executive producer of The Line, and I only became a woodworker for the puns. That's not important. If you would like to support this channel, you can do so on our Patreon or as a channel member, and you can actually support specific shows and specific hosts in special tiers on those. Check those options out. Also, you can leave a super thanks and get a little highlighted deal. But if all else fails, you can always you can subscribe and leave a comment. Now, here are some suggestions because I don't care about the algorithm. I am the algorithm. Bye.